Yep.
We have a quorum with Peter Rothschild joining us on Zoom. We have a motion to accept the minutes of the June 3rd regular meeting.
I move to accept the minutes of the June 3rd meeting.
I second that.
Good, Dylan.
Yes. Perfect in time for a roll call vote to accept the minutes of the June 3rd meeting.
Aye.
Peter, aye. Polly.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And aye. All right. Motion to approve the minutes passes. Thank you very much, Carrie. Another long booklet to read through.
That's a long meeting.
Yes, it was. We all survived, thank God. So
Let's
anyone,
not try to duplicate it tonight.
well, yeah, I don't think we're really quit competing with the challenge.
Well, that's true.
Anyone here wishing to address the board with anything that is not already on the agenda? Julie?
Okay, I'm just gonna read you what I wrote, or just so it's there. So I don't know where you were at with the tractor excavator information or whatever. And I just want to say, I'm still concerned regarding any move forward with an excavator purchase as opposed to an option to purchase a multi-functional tractor. Someone threw a Google 80,000 number out during one of the last discussions, but I think it's important to understand the horsepower, slash motor size and reasonable needs before pricing out any machine and attachments. And I'll stand by the statement that an excavator for the town just seems like an unreasonable purchase. It's limited in its use and in comparison to an appropriately sized tractor with appropriate attachments, it's a no-brainer. The reasoning that an excavator with a mulching implement is what we need to be clear, need to clear the roadsides, falls flat when a tractor can, with a bucket, move most any loose materials, snow, tree debris, and there's so much more. With forks, you can lift pallets,
Aye.
move large items. Backhoe attachment, dig a trench, dig up unwanted items, move trees, logs, and debris, field mower, septic field mowing, other town areas that need to be controlled. Horizontal sickle bar, you can do the roadside cutting, and a vertical limb trimming, you have maintenance cutting. An excavator with a mulching attachment can obviously do a reasonable job, however, I have to say without experience, it's gonna be very messy. That roadside clearing, and in my opinion, unless you have an experienced individual in the operator's seat, you're looking at a mess. Safety concerns, limited functionality and usage, in my opinion, warrant serious consideration toward purchasing a tractor with appropriate attachments. We have miles of roads that have not been maintained as far as road cutting for years. We drive by countless properties where trees have been and are still being planted directly under or too close to power lines and too close to the roadside overall. There must be some method of regular roadside trimming as well as a more common sense approach to help prevent some of the unnecessary continuous need to trim and cut away for traffic safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Any response to Julie's statements?
So, Julie, my question is, with all the added things to the tractor, the bucket, the forks, the backhoe, the field mower, the horizontal sickle bar, and the vertical limb trimmer, do you have any idea what that's gonna add to the cost of it?
None, I think you need to look at your needs and need to look at the horsepower that you need, the type of equipment that will go with that, and then do the pricing. I don't think it's something that you have to purchase every piece of equipment immediately. The most important piece is yes, but I have to say, if you're in an excavator, you're tearing up the sides of the roads with tar that we pay so much to have done too. There are things like that. Excavators do not travel lightly. They are not an easy on things. Tractors are much more maneuverable. They do not tear up tar and such. So I mean, there's just a lot of considerations, and I feel like a broken record, and I apologize. This is kind of just an interesting subject. I guess. It'd be nice if the town would purchase something that could be multifunctional over the years.
So somebody mentioned last time about getting in touch with, oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. A tractor company, Union Tractor, Union Farm Equipment.
We have. And Dave has spoken with Babe and Peter. And, I wanna get into this when Jordy comes back. I don't wanna deal with it tonight. We're not in any rush anyway. But the main thing for the excavator was, do you want us to mulch the trees? And if you don't, then that's that. But that's what all I've heard is the biggest complaint. And that's from you. I've
Well,
heard-
yeah, I got it, and then, the purpose of this, and I haven't seen an attachment that goes on a tractor, maybe it does. But, you know, the purpose of this, and oftentimes we buy equipment that does 2 or 3 different things, but the biggest issue that's been brought up for years is the overhang of trees that are up higher that our staff can't safely address.
Whole
And-
sod.
Yeah, I mean, I
No.
saw someone's, you know,
Yeah,
and it just, so the purchase was designed to not do 4 or 5 things. It was designed to do a singular function, which was the biggest critical comment that we got for years. And that is how it's destroying, not destroying, it's, you know, it scrapes trucks, it's mirrors. So that's what it was designed to do. So unless someone presents to us, and maybe Dave, you know, anyone tells us that there is a piece of equipment like a tractor that does have the same type of capability, then we're not trying to address 5 or 6 things. We're trying to address the main thing, and that's what we all voted on.
Julie, makes some really good points here. I'm just wondering, at what point do we say to the property owner, your trees are in the road? Is that something, because it seems to me there's a few spots that are worse than others. And, I mean, is this something we could tell a property owner that they need to keep their trees out of the road at some point? I mean, I understand we have to keep the roads clear, but if the trees are growing, for instance, down by Shipyard Point, as one example, the trees are in the road enough that if a car is coming around the corner, there rarely is. But at what point is it on the property owner? If at all?
well, the town owns the right of way. I mean, we're supposed to keep the road cleared back. We can ask a homeowner. I really haven't had success in that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much. I mean, if you get a caretaker who is responsible, they perhaps would try to do that. Then again, they're turning around asking us to do it. So, I don't have time to.
The other thing is that
Homeowner.
if we trim the branches every year versus a limb that grows the branches, is gonna have a more long-lasting effect. Like if we cut, if you just cut the tips versus cutting
Oh, yeah.
the branches, and then there's, I'm sure, right away issues with, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the point is to get it cut back, cut
Mhm.
up. Not just, like we said, maybe like they've done a lot around here around poles.
Mhm.
Gone in, that doesn't look great on some trees that stick alone and it's just the whole side's been
Yeah,
cut up, but it's not gonna come back.
but utility maintenance is not, the town would trim it back, and then if the property owner wants to clean it up, make it neater, they could.
Yeah, except with this mulcher, it would just mulch it right down. It's
Hmm.
not something that we'd have to drag around the wood chipper,
Mm-hmm.
have 2 more people involved. But I mean, I hope to have, Dave is not here this week, so I hope to have Dave come to the next meeting. And Jordy will be back, or Tom, they're both, but I'd like to discuss it with them. And I haven't really had time Jordy's been on vacation a couple of weeks now, so I haven't had time to sit down since your last meeting. When I heard this was a big topic of discussion.
Sorry about that.
I admit I wasn't here.
I mean, I think when you're looking at
Yeah.
$80,000, that's a big chunk of change to spend to do one
Right.
particular.
Well, I think it can do a lot of things, and Jordy could tell you that better. I know they have plans for it at the transfer station. It'll be able to push down the debris, the demo, which they only have right now, that little Bobcat, which is not sufficient at all. Things like that, moving things around up there, moving things,
What are they gonna move it? What are they gonna utilize to move it?
we'll buy a trailer.
No, I mean, so excavators don't move certain things. I mean, it's not like you pick up a pallet and move it over here, a big box and move it over here, or a big tank or whatever. I mean, you're talking about a grapple or something like that.
I don't know, Julie.
Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you have
Okay,
to,
but
that's talk
yeah.
to Jordy, he's got, who knows what he.
We're good, I'm good.
I
Whatever.
don't know, I'm still inclined to side more so with Julie on this. I am not an expert in this industry. I have worked in landscaping for a number of years and have close friends who are very involved in it. It does seem to me like we can accomplish what we need to accomplish with a larger Kubota tractor, along with access to, because they have PTO excavator buckets, you know? Like if we're thinking about using it as a dump, it has a bucket with it. You know, you get a big front end loader with it, now you've got forks you can attach, now you can move the pallets around. You know,
Yeah, but how does that address the main issue that
I don't see-
we voted on?
Well, it would address the main issue we voted on because we voted to buy a tractor.
We voted on.
I don't
a
think
piece
you
of
should-
equip- All right.
No, we voted on a tractor.
Well, just
Which-
because I wrote tractor, it really was an excavator, I don't think you should hold us to that.
Well, that's just part, well. I personally, the way I believe I would say I would hold us to that, but, I understand what you're saying 100% as well, so,
Yeah,
but I just,
I had, if I may, I had heard that the town was looking at an excavator, and when I came to town meeting, that was a specific question I wanted answered, because it's like, why? I mean, that's kind of crazy, but when you said tractor, I was like, all
Well, I
right.
did answer you, because I went into my book and I found the sheet from that company, it
I'm
said
just saying,
excavator, so I did answer that, correct that.
Myself, and I think some other people may have been misled, no, I mean, it happens, whatever. You know, I think more common sense approach to trimming the sides of the roads, I mean, some trees have to be cut. And just, you know, maintenance by property owners, like Dylan said, you know, why can't we push that a little bit more, like pushing recycling, why can't we get people to recycle
Yeah,
better, you know?
yeah. But I can tell you what we paid a local contractor to do West Shore Drive, it was
Sure.
1 mile, 2 sides, it was $25,000.
I don't remember.
Do you want to keep doing that for?
I would rather spend $80,000 on a piece of equipment that can do a $25,000 job, can do a $10,000 job, it can do 3 $5,000 jobs, it can do a 10,000, like.
We're not gonna take over Public Works road maintenance, it's not gonna be like replacing Peter
No,
or something like that, is that what you're?
No. What I'm saying is I understand the logic behind buying a piece of equipment so that we don't have to continue, let's call it renting, right? If you rent so often that eventually it makes more sense to own, like renting shares for a party on Long Island. Eventually he should just buy his own 7,000 shares, save himself the money. That said, if we're gonna spend this kind of money, I don't know why we're limiting ourselves to a piece of equipment that is designed specifically for one task. When we
Let's just wait and get Jordy and
Yeah,
other people who know what they want to use it for and have talked about it.
Excuse me, there's a comment that, from Amy Molnix, that Fred Porter can help identify places that need trimming, so that the ambulance and other emergency vehicles can get
And
through.
private driveways they could begin with, I mean, and we have nothing to do with that, for one thing I know. He's always upset with, homeowners that don't clear back their driveways.
But it's not just the driveways. There are a variety of places on the roads that are problematic and that drivers have to pay attention to both the sides and the potential to losing the top lights, which I understand is a major expense to replace and would take an ambulance. It would be problematic for an ambulance and possibly also a fire truck, delaying them getting to a particular scene.
Yep, he can give me a list, he's not giving me a list, so. I would love it.
Alright, well, then we will move along to to ferry service update. Don't see Peter here, and I didn't get anything via email. Sea level, what are you raising here?
Isn't that Peter?
Oh, that's a, different Peter.
Oh, Peter Wilcox. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sea level rise update? Do we have one, or Peter, do you have anything from sea level rise? Are you still part of that?
No, I am, but I don't know anything about what has happened. I think there's a meeting coming up, isn't there, Janet?
We just had one,
Okay.
Oh, we had one.
and they were talking about the grant that Sri is working on.
Right. That's my understanding is it's still,
Yeah.
we're still waiting a word on the grant.
Yeah,
I didn't attend that. I couldn't attend that meeting, but that was my understanding.
You? Steve, public safety renovation, things like that?
I have two pictures just on not the up island, but the renovation going on here. I went in today to see the progress on the safety room. And I have two, but they're not coming up.
I'm having trouble like finding where to make it big. Okay,
Anyway, the main thing is that the progress in the safety room is moving forward. They have, equipment, things have been delivered, the refrigerator and stove are in the other room there. That's the build out that's starting for, Fred's, disaster.
emergency operations.
Yeah, what do you, emergency?
EO, no, I'm sorry, the EOC, Emergency Operations Center.
So they tore down the ceiling the other day on that. They started to frame that out. So that's moving along well, and the Up Island Safety Garage, the mudding's, in there. Drywall first round of mudding has occurred, so we're trying to get better communication on what the ETA is on delivering the Up Island, but they have, the contract's to September. So I think we're doing well on both projects. That's the update.
The only thing I'd like to add about Up Island Station, it's been slow go. And I did get reviewed that the contract is from September to September. And I understand that the language in the contract, I don't think there's any penalty after September date. But what we need to try to do with the contractor without pushing them over the edge, we need to encourage him to come back. We need to encourage him to keep on it and encourage to get the project underway.
And we had that communication last week via Mark, our architect. We had an email went out last Thursday on that. We're waiting for his response. So your point is accurate and correct, and we executed on that last week, and we will continue to do that.
Correct.
Wonderful.
So we paid this. Just out of curiosity.
Wise.
I mean, I'm just curious how much money we've got. If he said he would have it done in mid-July, and now we're gonna.
No,
So
no,
I thought,
no,
Oh.
There was, somebody said July, but the contract's for September, so I want to be very clear.
Yeah,
on
it was
that.
like September 16th, 2025. through
So
with the
whatever
year.
that was thrown out, that was just someone stating that. The contract reads September. I went back and reviewed that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I don't think I was supposed to see that email, but I did.
Bogus.
Hmm?
I guess it was bogus.
Yeah, well, it says that it was indicated that this project will be completed by mid-July,
That's very wishful.
and that's,
but that's not what the contract said.
okay. All right. Great, upcoming meetings and subcommittee meetings, or subcommittee reports. Planning board is on June 29th. Is that, yes, all coming?
GWI has a meeting next Tuesday, the 23rd. Of the IMB committee with GWI, right?
Correct.
Yep, and that's it, pretty light. Oh, tomorrow is a committee. Tomorrow evening, 5:30. Harbor Committee.
Oh, what, Harbor?
Harbor, yeah.
Town managers report.
I've given you a copy of the broadband's, March 10th meeting. Now, we have some correspondence from Waldo County Commissioners inviting people to come for a nomination for caucus, for 2027 on July 2nd at the Waldo County Probate Courtroom, if anybody's interested. You can sign up no later than June 29th. So if anyone's interested in doing that. We received from Brianna Deb, think of Deb, excuse me. She wants to come out, she's a newly elected commissioner, in Waldo County, and she wants to come out. Or she's willing to, or interested in meeting, maybe it could be by Zoom, with the select board, along with Sheriff Jason Trunding, to hear ideas and concerns regarding county government. And she would like that if it was gonna happen in July or August. So if you think that that's something you want her
Perfect, 2
in on
months.
a Zoom, I mean, it could be part of a selectmen's meeting, I think, if you could just, if you had anything you wanted to say to her, or ideas, or. So we have from James Thompson, the Northport Administrator, is asking the select board to vote for him to continue on the Maine Municipal Association's Legislative Policy Committee. He's been on there since 2022. And we can vote for two, perhaps each town, but Islesboro, we have a ballot that we could vote for him. There's a Charlene Williams from Unity and someone else, Angela Silly from Sears Mont. But we can vote for two people. So if you're willing to do that, he would appreciate that, your vote.
So I read that and I haven't seen that before. So
It's through MMA.
do we as a select board do this?
We have in the past, yep, if they've asked us, I don't know if we always have a vote available to us, I'm not sure.
Cause we're voting for people, we have no idea.
Well, we know James Thompson.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I mean, you can just vote for him if you want, but he's asking, no one else has said, Islesboro.
no, I like that. I just, it'd be good to make sure we have this and we have another 2 weeks to vote on this, which July 1 probably doesn't allow us, but.
Yeah, well,
July 27th.
Oh, it's the 27th, I looked up here.
Return,
All
right?
right. Well, then, why don't
Do you
we
want-
table this and allow
Hold
us
that.
to, what do you think?
I would agree. I know James' wife, I'm working at the school with her, and I mean, I would put my faith behind him, but I totally, I'm with you. Give yourself more time, get to know him better, 100%.
And the other two?
Yeah, I mean, again, I can only speak to the one I know, so I would say that, but yeah, absolutely. More time.
There's
more thought.
information on the other two.
Yeah,
on the back
yeah.
page.
All right, so
All right,
let's
so
hold off.
hold this until July 1st, the next meeting?
Yeah. I think it was time that they'll be back, that's good.
Yeah.
Excuse me, have an update from Merton, he may wish to speak to this, I don't know, but it's about Acre Island equipment that for many months, he and Josh Lindsay have been trying to go over to Acre Island to get, the fire truck needed, repair. He thought he was gonna have to pull it off the island to bring it over to Josh's garage. But they finally got over there together, and so Josh was able to do the tune-up, and so it's back in service. There was a trailer pump that needed a new battery, he got that to start, and needed a tune-up kit, but it's back in service. And a portable pump got checked and got it running and back in service for, Acre Island people. And he's going to ask Dark Harbor Boatyard to run the truck once a month also. They're busy and they don't always, have time to do this. And I also need to be looking for a new, used snowplow truck from them, because the truck that they've been using to plow has deteriorated beyond itself. I forget what year it is, it's really old Dodge. But anyway, I've budgeted for that, so I'm hoping I can find it. Then we just have to figure out a way to get it over there. And
So wait a minute. It sounds like we need, in the coming budget cycle, we need to get an estimate from the fire chief. Is that unit gonna last another 3 years with putting together? Or are we gonna have to buy a new truck in 4 years? I think it'd be good to start looking at that. And then you just said there's money to.
for a snowplow truck,
Okay, but I don't remember that in the.
it's in the budget.
Is it in the budget?
Yep, I don't have my budget with me.
No, that's fine. I'm just,
Find it.
but it was in the, all right, as long as it was in the
Yeah.
budget,
Now, he requested, Dana Emery wrote us a letter
okay.
asking.
I don't remember every line. Yeah,
Okay.
so I just want to make sure we had that budgeted.
Yeah.
Good. But I think it's a good idea to have that, and I've also on the broadband group, there's some costs coming in. And I've asked them or suggested, there's a meeting next week that I'm gonna participate, and I said, you need to start thinking of how to present that to the budgeting committee cycle so that we know what the next 2 or 3 years, because there seems to be some significant dollars that are required to update aspects of the broadband and the equipment independent of what company is running that. So,
Right, I mean, they did budget half of it this year, I think Barry's thinking half, they would do it next year.
yeah, so we're gonna have a conversation after the meeting, he and I, just to make sure he's
Yeah.
just as
Yep.
information for everybody.
All right, we received the notice that the town has been awarded a safety grant in the amount of $1,793.78 by Maine Municipal Workers Comp Fund to purchase safety equipment for the fire department that Mert had applied for, and we've just been waiting to hear. So congratulations, you can buy and tell them what you're buying.
It's all safety related, equipment against the grant. Safety.
Yeah.
I have a combination of, life jacket, PFD, 6 of those. Traffic cones, I think, something in the neighborhood of, 18 of them or something like that, whatever I was able to get my hands onto. For the Up Island Station, we were back in the vehicles up there. I've got that hard rubber bumpers for the wheels, so they're not backing right into something. We have that at the current station.
That's a good idea.
It was that item. And there was one other little item that escaped me, but, so Janet, we got confirmation on it?
Yes.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, they sent out a press release,
Okay,
so, yeah.
but that's the items we're looking at.
The other, you and Fred in conjunction or something, you guys ran an EM. I don't have the right terminology, last month, a full-blown in the street up there, I saw,
Or traffic, was it
Yeah,
traffic?
what was that? You guys ran, like, all the fire trucks were out and
Training.
training, what was that?
It was a multi-agency exercise on West Bay Road.
West Bay Road, that was
Like.
something that Fred was
Yeah,
What's
was
that,
training
Fred?
on, that was, traffic scene subject. No, he did a big thing, I didn't.
Okay, I just want, it'd be good on those type of things. We need to have, I think, a report on how that went. Ongoing would be interesting to the community because it was, I went by, I thought, impressive. And I think everybody should know about that, and I think this is the forum to, just review that in the future. If you do something similar,
Right.
it'd be just good to do just a short recap after.
Yeah, I'll mention
That was,
Fred.
that was a Fred training.
He would love to come and tell you about it.
I'm sure you,
I would just.
no, it was very impressive.
So my other handout for you is, and you probably already received it in the mail about the from the Friends of the Fire Department, about the fireworks and so 4th or 3rd of July, the 4th is the parade. And I've given you, we don't have to decide this today, but I wanted you to be thinking about, ex officio roles, what ones you may be interested in currently, that column, it's beige colored or buff colored paper.
Then just I picked up mine yesterday. I don't have it. It's not in the thing
Yeah,
yet.
it is, I did that.
Thank you.
I added Harvard Committee to the bottom of that. It's not listed.
Oh, ex officio on the Harbor Committee?
Yeah, my role.
And you're currently,
well, the Harbor Committee is one of those things that I thought you said that he actually should be a voting member and you're the ex officio.
I'm on there as ex officio, I didn't know if he was off, that's why I didn't put it
I
on
spent
there.
2 years on that committee or more as an ex officio.
I
With
know,
it
but
not
well-
voting.
because there's somebody from the planning board. too.
There's a planning board person on there, we'll investigate that. Won't we, Karen? But I was going down through the list of committees. So, and if you see any other committee that's missing from here, think about what you would like, if you want to stay on the committee that you're on, or if Holly, I think Peter may speak to this. Peter suggested Holly may take his position on the energy committee,
Okay,
so that's something that he just put out there.
but I couldn't stay on the energy committee.
He's already a member.
I'm already a member.
You remember, but you could become an ex officio.
But
I
then you
couldn't
wouldn't,
vote.
you wouldn't be a voting member, right?
Well, that won't work.
So,
You don't have the energy. Sorry.
but Melissa was on quite a few committees,
That was a
so.
sidebar.
So anyway, well, I'm gonna put that on the next agenda, so you all
Okay.
think about it, because hopefully at the next agenda, I hope Dave has the committees ready and, in general, for one of them. My last item is, I wanted to give you an update on the ferry ticket sales, which started Monday. And we purchased, as Hollywood, Hollywood, right?
Yes, I printed them.
$24,850 worth of tickets.
300 miners, 350 vehicles and 375 adults.
Well, we've sold in these 3 days, 240 vehicles, that's $7,200, 136 walk-on passengers, that's $1,394, and 17 child tickets, $85, so it's a total of 393 tickets we sold, and we, for $8,679.
I'm sorry, say that, just the final.
$8,679,
And the check was 24,850.
yeah. Ryan came up with that.
Oh, basically, we sold a third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it'll be interesting, several people, I can't tell you how many, have bought 10 of things.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're done, so they won't be
coming back.
coming back in the system. So,
It's really interesting, because I was wondering, that was a big bill.
yeah. Brian, did it clogged up your printer, the duster?
No,
You come
no,
back.
I have air cans.
Oh, you do an air can?
Yeah. We stop it. Before and after.
Oh.
It's good to go.
All right, that's all for me unless you have any other questions. Have any questions?
That was correspondence as well.
Correct.
Report, so we'll move into old business. Data supporting the reason for select board action from 6/3/26. Checking here.
Yeah. Should be blue. Do you still have it from?
What would you like to review, Steve?
Nothing. I mean, I wanted to present that act and just as data for everybody for discussion. I just wanted to present it facts on the importance of the school and what I thought was great. There was some really good dialogue. Kate, what's Kate's last name? Is she on right now? Oh,
She's on the bottom.
okay. Just brought up a great point of, it's not about all children. I mean, there's a ton of singles. And, my comments had been too narrow. And I had a good conversation with her independent of that. And I realized, this is such an important discussion. It's almost like, we think about these, the kids program at the ICC, then we have the preschool, and we have this, but, we need to engage and present something that young adults, and like and enjoy and make that as favorable as well. She really opened some great ideas. So I just thought the discussion was very favorable. That's all I'll say.
John, Polly, Peter, any more to
I don't have anything.
follow up from last week? All right.
I just, on, if,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me,
Yeah.
but, I just got an email yesterday that the, candidate for the new principal had withdrawn. And I think this is I think we need an update from the school committee about how the search is going. And this is such a fundamental and important issue relating to the school that, I'd like to know what's plan B here.
Yeah, she sounds like a really good fit too. She sounded like she was well
No,
qualified.
but she's not, she's
Yes.
withdrawn.
I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know why as well.
Another.
Peter, this is Daniel Froling. I attended the school board meeting yesterday, and the school board said that the candidate had taken another job in maybe New Hampshire, where she's from, and where that was her first choice. The one good thing that I heard from the board on this topic was that they want to prioritize getting the right person over just getting a body in a seat, which to me is very important. And I will mention someone else, I think it was Trevor Blackford, raised the idea of combining the superintendent and principal roles. And Zach said, we've done that back and forth many times. He seemed to poo-poo, I don't want to say he poo-pooed, but he didn't seem particularly positive about that idea.
Yeah, we had a
Been there.
bit of a rough ride with that when we tried it. That didn't go great. Yeah.
Takes a special person to be their own boss. Basically.
All right.
As we know from our president, right?
So, all right, well then we'll move on to new business. which involves setting the date and location for the summer info meeting, which looks to be proposed currently at July 30th, 26th at 5:30 PM at the Kennecott Center.
Correct, that was the date that the Sea Level Rise Committee gave me, that they were interested. They wanted to have a meeting and we thought, if you all want to do, if with them last year, we didn't do a summer info for whatever reason. But if you want to join in on this, that was the date that worked best for them. So, and Kate did say it was available for that.
Okay.
Well, I personally would not be available for it, but you know, I would encourage our participation if somebody wanted to be there as sort of representative, either if you wanted to go maybe, or.
Absolutely. I'm available.
And I did mention it to Kate about would the school be interested in, and they have in the past, it's just like, 10 minutes worth of it. It's not, sea level will take up probably not most of the time, but half of the time, I bet, but.
Okay, and Shay is committed to being there.
Yes.
Good. All right.
Okay, so
So
if you
let's
think of
stick-
anything else that you want to put on that agenda, I mean, we have time,
Yeah.
but,
But I guess for now, we don't really need a motion to say someone will be participating, do we?
No.
Great, so we'll be there with Belmont,
Right.
somebody. All right, great. Next up was the ballot for election for the MMA policy committee. We're gonna forego that.
which will.
Number 3, pollution control committee addressing applying for 2 grants to the Dark Harvest sewer improvements. Looks like Craig's pulling in the hot seat right away.
Got it.
Thank you, Craig.
Careful what you ask for.
I don't think I asked for anything.
I'll give you a full tour. So I've come to the board before and talked about the Dark Harbor wastewater treatment facility, which is the pollution control committee has oversight for that. But we have new folks, so I'm just gonna do a very quick overview of the system and then what we've been doing and what this is all about. System was put in 1904 because there was no way to treat sewage in the Dark Harbor area with the high amount of clay and small lots. And it used to go overboard out of the Dark Harbor, through the Dark Harbor pool and out through the dam. That was changed in '89 when we put in the sand filtration system, which is backed by PYY. You see all the candy canes in the field, that's the sand system. 2 5,000 gallon filtration tank, not filtration, but settling tanks are right down by the Dark Harbor pool between the road and the pool. Those get pumped on a regular basis. Liquid is pumped up to the filtration area next to PYY, and then it filters out by gravity to 250 feet beyond the Dark Harbor Dam, at 75 feet of depth at mean low tide for dispersal. So
We've seen that.
yeah, so we treat, Jordy takes a sample every month, has to go
Every week.
has to go to the mainland to be treated. We have an operating license that's held by an outside contractor. We are the smallest municipal sewer system in the state of Maine. And it's completely supported by the users. There are 34 users on the system. Our budget, not our budget, we don't budget because we actually pay for whatever it costs. Last year it was $24,778 to run the system. It's based on usage. Everybody pays a base fee of $450. We then look at what the usage is. Everybody has a meter on their house that measures how many cubic feet of water they're using throughout the year. So they pay for use. What we don't do, and we don't is we don't pay for infrastructure costs because of the cost of this being municipal system. In the same way that we support Mosley's Dock, same way we support Grinnell Point and all of that. So, but with being 120 or 122 years old, there are issues with the system. It's undersized. All the pipes, the original piping are 6-inch clay they're about that long. They were connected with oakum, like shipbuilding, which God knows how long that lasted. So the problem we have with the system is there's a lot of exterior water coming in through the groundwater. Our highest use time, our highest flow through the system is October and March.
Yeah.
That would make any sense because.
When it's raining and thawing.
Right.
Those when we have our big storms. Summer, not so much, even though we have 34 people using it. We've gone through a number of pumps because these pumps have to run to pump that water up to the filtration system. If you ever go down after a storm, you're gonna hear the alarm going off. That just means we have high water in the system and it's overtaxing the system, and we have a backup generator and all that. So it's been fine. We've had some failures every once in a while. Oftentimes the failure is from the homeowner's pipe to the main system. Although we have had some issues within the system itself that we've addressed over the years. And so in 2021, we talked to Oliver and Associates, which is a big wastewater management engineering firm in Winterport. 2022, they did a study for us that they delivered to us in 2023 that maps the entire system, which we had never had before, scopes it. There are videos you can watch, you can go through the system.
Gosh, I gotta jump.
I know, it's actually kind of interesting to be honest.
About $95,000.
$95,000, we paid for that 3 years ago, teeing things up so that federal infrastructure money was coming down the pike after COVID and with the Biden administration. So we were pushing, we wanted to get this out so that, we could get hopefully some money. The unfortunate thing with a high tax base, we usually don't. We don't usually qualify, but every year we put in between Senator Collins and Senator King's office, we put in for funding for this system, which the estimate when it was done was 3.1 million to replace the system. So every year we put in asking for money to offset that. Every year they don't pick it up. They don't move it forward. There's an application for wastewater treatment every year through DEP. We put in every year, we usually get denied because we have a high tax base. And then this year, Senator King moved our funding request forward through the budget process. So back in the day, it used to be called an earmark. Now they are called congressionally directed spending. And so the senator put forward, we asked for $3.81 million. He has forwarded 1.8 in the budget process, leaving 2.81 left over that would have to be funded in some way. Also, the state DEP has decided this year that they would like to fund us for a project where they would underwrite a low interest bond for 2.81 million and then grant us $1 million that's forgivable grant. So congressional spending, that budget process goes into the fall and they're always dealing with reconciliation. So who knows how that's going to fall out. So there is an opportunity to have that funding, but with the DEP funding, we don't have to use it if we were going to use it until September of 2027. But we have to tell them by July 10th whether or not we want to stay in the mix. And so I wanted to come, and our board met earlier this week, the committee, come to the Board of Selectmen to ask them to approve sending the letter to the state saying, yes, we want to remain in this budget process or in this funding. And then we'll see how it falls out in the fall and what happens at the congressional level. But, if everything lines up, instead of a $3.8 million hit to the town, which we weren't going forward with this year anyway, it may be just $1 million. But still, it's an old system. It's been failing. And there is not an option for not having this system. It is just one of those things that you just have to have. So that's my question. So the first one, we don't have to do anything on the first item, which is the congressional through the senators. We were coming here today to ask for the board to approve saying to the state, yes.
Which I think I gave you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so go ahead.
So I read this earlier and you confused me a little only because, so this is for budgeting for the 2027 8-year, right?
Yes, if we were gonna go forward with this as a town, yes, it'd be in next.
Main budget for okay.
Correct.
All right. The other thing, this in my mind would be exactly the type of project that we should re-engage with our lobbyist. That woman that did such a great job of, what's that?
For the ferry?
Yep.
Tickets? I mean, ferry?
Yep. Because for 10 or 20 grand to get this, because this is only a budgeted amount. If you have somebody pushing that internally through the proper channels, we can push this through. If it just wavers and, what's gonna happen is in January, they start all these budget committees and they'll look at all these numbers and they go, okay, what's easy to cut? And my experience tells me that if we could get, somebody to just focus on this one aspect, and help drive this through, that money is so well spent. I think it would be foolish not to, at least to engage her to see what her opinion is on her effectiveness in this, which I think would be very good, because this is really great numbers.
Yeah, man on the inside, so to speak, right?
And that's at the federal level,
No, at the state.
at the state level.
Yeah, so you said, just so make sure I'm,
There's
Yeah.
two.
there's, she would only be affected at the state level, and that's, which part of
That
that?
would be
That's the-
number two.
Number two.
Okay,
Clean water state revolving fund.
that's what we need to
Right.
have her evaluated by.
And I would have her, I mean, so I think it needs to be in two steps. So step one, Board of Selectmen, should they decide to do it, approve maintaining, moving this
Yeah.
forward.
Right. I
And number
think
two, then engaging with her
Yes,
to see if she thinks it's viable, because I don't know if it is a set, I know it's a set total for the state that then is portioned out.
Mhm.
But, if one municipality drops back, maybe adding more money to another one is a viable thing, and that person would know that far better than I would.
so your request to us is to approve, make a motion to approve.
Accepting this proposal, knowing that it's not a binding
Right.
money wise or anything like that. That has to go to the town.
Can you, well, you can, or I can discuss afterwards, but, I'm just, I think I'm just confused by the way you've got it written. So 3.8 total, 3.8 is the total funding.
No.
It's just-
Yes,
Yes. They're
the total
offering-
project.
Yes,
Total project.
Dark Harbor sewer improvements, and it's good news, they're offering the town total of 3.8 million of funding, consisting of a low interest loan of 2.8 plus 1 million, which is all going to be forgiven.
Correct. And then the
But-
federal funding.
Okay, so, hold on.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
that 3.8, this is what we are, if I'm not mistaken, this is the figure that you're asking us to approve moving forward along the process with. Is this 2.8?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so when if, let's say it all goes through perfectly, we get all this taken care of, the 3.8 is then free money effectively, or will the town in fact have to repay a low interest loan of 2.8?
We would, if we get the 1.81 from the feds,
Yeah,
the town would then only be liable for 1 million.
okay, I see what we're doing, it's the math.
Yeah,
Okay.
I probably should have
Um,
flipped them, did the big one and then.
Yeah, I mean, my only thought would be, do we have any responsibility on a $1 million agreement like this, if it goes through? Like right now, do we have to run this by anybody, or are we good to say that like we sign off on it, because if they give it to us, like we get there and now we're on the hook, we've saddled us with $1 million.
Well, we need town.
No,
meeting.
we can approve it and we can turn it down at a later date.
Right, which is.
you don't
This
take
keeps us,
We don't do
yeah.
that, But okay, I just wanna make sure,
Yeah,
that if us
no.
doing this.
Yeah, no.
No way indicates.
No,
that
no.
We're gonna be.
Right.
Okay,
We do
This
have
keeps
to-
us in,
Great.
this keeps us in a pool.
I hope we don't take the out when we get it, if we get some money, I hope we don't say no to it, but we do have enough, there would be two, okay. But for more of it, alright,
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, because we bonded, just like we did that outfall pipe repair 15 years ago. I've been doing this for 20 years, so it's getting a lot.
Thank you, Craig.
And that was 750,000.
Yeah.
But
The
that
amount
was
of
a
money is
loan
not- I mean,
from
that's
Camden
not-
National.
Yeah, no, I just wanted, before we agree to something
Yeah,
without.
yeah,
telling you.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Sewer man.
So then, you got a motion, like,
A badge.
Should I be like?
What am I motioning? I motion.
Right,
But I put forward a motion to approve the letter
Yeah,
pushing the process forward.
right. You're accepting the proposed project funding.
and I second that.
Clean
Yeah,
water
we'll-
state
we'll-
revolving
we'll go with
fund.
that.
Carrie, you should have a copy of that. Applicant.
a roll call vote on the motion, Holly?
Yes.
Yes,
Mr. Rothschild?
Yes,
Dylan, Mr. Drinking,
Yes.
and
Thank you
I
very much. Thank you.
thank you,
I'll
correct?
keep you on,
20 years in the pipeline.
I know, downhill,
Keep up the good work.
downhill.
Okay, well,
It's just over with. You choose not to accept funding for the soccer.
All right, great, so then we move on to other business. Which- I actually do have two things to put on other business right now, but I'm good, other business for future consideration. Which are two things that have been brought to me by, various folks in town. One of which is from Jesse at the ferry, who I was hoping, I didn't know what we would be talking about, if anything to do with Peter's parking proposal, the triple P.
Yes.
Mr. Young at the ferry is concerned about the ongoing confusion between the third staging line and the parking spaces alongside of the fence, and how it's just basically a nightmare. And he's hoping that we could consider, and I figured because we're talking about parking off the way as well, we might be able to lump it together. Discussion as to his hope would be to better delineate what is the parking zone of lane 3, shift the central line outward further into the road so that there's a clear third parking row, third staging row, and the road can continue around. So basically, I just told them that we're already talking about parking in the area. I think it's a great idea to figure out how to do this. I don't,
So the deal is the lanes of traffic have to be 10 feet wide.
correct, that's what I'm a little worried about is.
And unfortunately, when the state came down and did the painting last year, they did not have white paint.
Okay,
So they could only do yellow lines. They could only do yellow lines. They couldn't do the white lines for the parking. They couldn't do the white lines along
right,
the guardrail. And that's a big part of the problem.
okay, so we,
I am,
By so spring. And
well, we can outdo the DOT with a couple spray can, like say.
Well, we have a
I'm sure.
stripe, we have a line striper.
Okay, great, well then I
I'm
think
sure
we
we
need
have paint.
my concern when I was talking to Jesse was that we were sort of both thinking about not knowing where the delineation between state responsibility for the road and town responsibility for the road lies. And I warned him that it might become a back and forth between the two parties. Unless, I mean, I'm comfortable, because you all know my feelings toward these alphabet agencies, to just say, let's do it ourselves and make it happen, but also, I don't know how that would
well, this.
possibly impact like the legal side of lane widths and, I mean, we're a town of 1.5 lane wide roads everywhere, so.
The state is responsible for the road coming off of the ferry up to going down West Bay to Main Road and going up Mill Creek to Pendleton Point. So that kind of horseshoe shape coming.
Ferry Road,
Right,
So then theoretically, that inner part of that.
Ferry Road.
Ferry Road, if that inner part of that curve falls on DOT, under DOT purview, thank you. What do we do? Are we gonna wait, do we contact the DOT to ask for permission to do this, or do we just do it and beg for forgiveness later?
I think we could strike.
yeah, you can strike,
Well-
you can striping.
If I could,
And the
if,
perfect,
if I could jump in there, we have a plan with the striping that DOT has in concept approved. We are merely trying to figure out how and when to do the repaving area of Ferry Road further to the east of there, along the Watts property. I think what's most appropriate is that this striping that takes place, if there is an adjustment in the lane locations, that we fold that into the same process.
But you're
I've
talking
been in
now.
touch, I've met with. I'm sorry?
What, we're talking about
Anyway.
two
Yeah,
different
two different
places.
locations.
He's talking about
Yes.
along the guardrail, Peter, across.
I understand, I understand, but the guardrail third lane conflict is one that we have discussed with DOT, and they have approved whatever it is changes. The fact of the matter is there is going to be a continuing conflict between the parking along the guardrail and the third lane when and if there is a third lane. And there's absolutely no real way of resolving that conflict unless we widen the road, which doesn't seem to be feasible, or eliminate the guardrail parking entirely, which is a possibility in the future if we add the 29 spaces along the Watts property. So, I mean, yes, you're right. There are two different questions here. The guardrail third lane conflict and the additional parking along the Watts property, but they're related to one another. And my approach to it was to resolve the question of adding the additional parking and then seeing if we could adjust the amount of parking or all of the parking along the guardrail in the future. But at the moment, that isn't really an option.
Okay, well, then all I,
Let's.
Yes,
so let
I would
me-
direct-
Tell me what the issue is again.
Okay.
What did they bring to you?
all right, well, I will preface what I'm about to say by suggesting perhaps that Peter, you speak with Jesse Young about this, and you can explain what your
Okay.
plan, what's in place, because I don't know.
My
that
understanding about, I haven't seen this proposal that you just
there is no
suggested.
proposal.
My under,
It was just, it was like, we had a request for information or request for discussion from Jesse Young as to what involvement the town could have, what direction we could push people in to better delineate the third row and parking along the guardrail, because he's all day long, every day, trying to explain to people that parking in the third row is not staging in the third line and vice versa. And he's wondering how he wanted us to be aware of that and would like our input or guidance on that.
so
And
as soon as I get back to Islesboro, I will engage that discussion.
Great.
My understanding at the moment is no matter what you do, there is going to be a remaining, as long as there's parking along the guardrail, there is going to be a conflict between the third lane and the guardrail parking. I just don't, from what I've been able to understand about that, merely changing the striping is not going to resolve the conflict, but I'm willing to discuss it.
I'd like to suggest that we do, I mean, if the parking there is gonna continue through this summer,
Right.
of course. I would suggest that we stripe the parking spots, which we may still be able to see.
Yeah.
And the line down the side.
Yeah.
So people can see that that is parking spaces versus.
Yeah,
I think that's all he
Yeah.
wants. I just
Yeah.
figured since we've already got this other thing, we might as well lump the two
Yeah,
together or,
There,
okay.
there's
great.
another matter related to that, which is at the moment, there's no fee attached to parking along the guardrail, and I'd like to see that changed.
Okay. Right, well,
I mean,
And
on
DOT has agreed to that, and Fred Porter has agreed to administer that.
great.
but in the meantime,
We
parking is confusing for the ferry workers and we could easily just stripe it
With white paint.
with white paint so that it's less of a,
less confusing.
Yeah.
less confusing for the ferry workers.
Or
And
not
for
the
the
ferry
people
workers,
Great.
but the people trying to park
Yeah.
there.
Well, right, but
Because we can't explain to them.
Yeah,
I mean, sometimes they park 3 feet away from the guardrail.
Right, because there's no delineation. Now that I'm
Right.
thinking about it, if you're not familiar with
Right.
what you don't, it has been,
How wide a
then you
vehicle
don't
is.
know.
Yeah,
Just the one thing, where, if you're gonna strike that, which is great, there's a lot to talk about there. But wherever that third line starts and the parking ends, can we just do a couple X's?
oh, yeah,
That's what when I spoke with Jessica, I
Okay.
suggested perhaps that we put little L's on the edges of them or something.
Something.
only that, but
Where it
if you
stops.
can. If you can stencil lane 3, just a big 3 in lane 3.
Right, that would help.
Yeah.
Every couple of feet, that would help. We had a sign up there, somebody took the sign down
Classic.
to say
It's
that.
in my man cave.
Oh, boy, Cummins man came.
Okay,
I mean, the
well,
post is there, but the sign is
Oh, at
gone.
least the post is there.
All right.
Might have another, I'll look in my list of signs. if
so
I got-
I will report back to Jesse the next time I see him, or Holly, you can't
I can
either
do
way. That
I'll see you
Peter's gonna get in
tomorrow.
touch with him at some point, but then
They were
also
on it.
we have come up with an idea and we will do what we can do to
Yeah.
alleviate. The second thing that was brought to my
Right.
attention, I'll be quicker on this one, I think, maybe, is something that I've also noticed as I spend more time walking my dog in the mornings. We are developing a litter problem primarily, or not primarily, but notably with signs from contractors, advertising their businesses that are being put up outside of people, out of job sites and in public greens, and then being left for ages. I've personally fished 3 or 4 from the same company out of culverts in the past few months since the snow has thawed. And it was brought to my attention by someone who spends a lot of time, a lot of screen time, we can call it. And as I got thinking about it more and more, Maine has a law banning billboards. And we have laws in the state dictating when you have to remove political campaign signs. I think it would be wise for us as a town to consider an ordinance based around advertisement signs that contractors have. My take on it, if you're at the job site, you want to advertise your company, go for it, but when your job is done, you should take it with you instead of leaving it. I mean, and not to say that every person wouldn't be possibly equally likely to forget. It's like a lot of out of town businesses, and it just seems like we need to do something to prevent. I mean, they're floating up, they're getting covered in algae, they're floating on the side of the road, they're blowing our trucks. Like that, we gotta, if you can't have billboards and you can't have political signs past an election cycle, then we should have a rule about how do we keep our streets beautiful. So I just would like to put that on the radar for future discussions as to how best to accomplish or how best to tackle this increase in road sign lease.
I would start with asking homeowners to remove them. I usually think they're there for deliveries, someone knows it's high hill, or what was that,
Long hill.
long hill.
Long
They-
Hill.
So much, but then I see that there are a lot of other ones popping up, like the ones at the fork of the road.
Yeah,
That's not the Terry Cowan property.
you know what?
I would have no problem taking those down.
Right.
Cause they're.
Oh, I didn't know
Right
if
at the
that
end
was
of Fairview.
Terry's.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've seen that little fork area's been used for a while, though. I mean, I had something there for a while myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you live here and have a
Right, but I mean,
stand.
but even then, I would still say, like, if I were closed, if I weren't open, if we were to make a change about this and I wasn't open, I would take my signs down. It's, it just, I agree. I mean, the homeowner does it, but I mean, also, does the homeowner even know that they've got signs up? I mean, you'd hope they would,
Well,
but,
they're on the side of the
these
road.
are like summer, all this construction of summer homes, that's going up, and who knows if there's even a homeowner present to.
What about like at the end of IAP Road, or
Yeah.
Reeby Road,
I
there's
took-
usually signs
I
there.
took 3 of those down. I took 2 from Long Hill, and I took 1 from somebody else down.
Yeah, or
You're the
on,
man.
I mean, basically the jobs were done, so I removed them. It was not my property. It was another private citizen's property, but I did it, and it's gone, and it looks nicer, but I don't know if there's a way we can maybe have an ordinance that dictates this or something, but I just would like to think about it going forward.
I have something that, somebody brought up to me, and, apparently, a number of years ago, this person is concerned about the number of deer on the island. And that it seems to be, the population seems to be increasing. And they were asking that we look at that and look at a possibility of either culling the herd or find some way to or organize, some type of hunting. Just look at a way of keeping the population down. And I know that's been, she asked that we revisit it, so. I don't know what's been discussed in the past.
I mean, I don't think any of us were on the board when this was really pushed through the first time. I remember it happening and I remember discussions around it, but I don't.
Yeah.
know the inner
Yeah.
details.
The advice that we received from Hunter, a company that does
That calls for,
calls them out, that was voted down at town meeting. People didn't want that. So we had to go and try to have a special hunt. Had to go to state and get permission to have a special hunt for, which
That's what
didn't
they
really
expected.
amount to anything, didn't really, if you're gonna get the deer, the hunters are gonna get them anyway, but that didn't help at all. So it was a lot of work, a couple of years worth of,
It was a lot of money too.
and money.
Do we have any people in town, or there, I don't know, is the word be a zoologist or biologist or anything like a high up in this world who would have good input on that? Like, I'm just trying to think, like, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about this, but is there someone that we could call on as a locally who could be part of this conversation?
Holly.
Well,
what-
Linda Gillies chaired the deer reduction committee, and it was a very frustrating, extended discussion that ultimately ended up with, it was the reduction program was voted down, as Janet just said, at the town meeting. I think that the bottom line was that unless the reduction was extremely extensive and well organized, it wouldn't have any positive outcome. We can revisit that, but it basically, I think the outcome of that study was that if you didn't buy the whole reduction program, you weren't actually addressing the problem. So maybe there are alternatives, but none appeared at that point. And it was extremely frustrating for the people who were involved because it was so contentious.
Yeah,
yeah, it sounds like, it's not something that you can do one time. It sounds like you have to have a plan and you have to keep going back to the plan to sustain reducing the population, because otherwise it's just gonna get blown out of proportion again. So I'm not saying that, I just wanted to bring it up because it was brought forward to me. But I'm looking more at like, and I don't know, I haven't lived in Maine my entire life, but I know where I lived in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, they had deer licks. They had population, basically birth control that they put into the deer licks. And that helped reduce the population. So is maybe along with what you're saying?
that was all looked at.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what was the outcome of
Holly.
that? Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm just wondering, did the concerned person indicate by what metric they're gauging this deer
Yes.
increase?
they said that apparently the metric they use is deer droppings. They have a certain number of deer droppings per like acre or something like that, and it had increased substantially. So that's what they used to determine the number and how much the increases happened.
Give me a break.
Oh.
I'll get to Amy right after.
Okay, I would get someone from who was on that deer reduction committee. I was around. I tried not to be involved in it. But Linda Gillies, my husband Pete was involved, Fred Thomas, he's not around now. But a lot of people were involved in it and could tell you. And even the wardens that came out and were helping them tried to convince them to go with the sharpshooter. I think that's
Yes,
the
this
way
person was
that
talking
they
about
recommend.
shotgun.
Yeah, with a sharpshooter, not, because local people, you can't shoot with guns out here.
Okay.
And someone was gonna pay for it, you know, wasn't gonna come out of town's money, but and I understood why they were concerned with having a sharpshooter, but it was very, there was a lot to it. It wasn't just send them out there and but some of the local hunters weren't happy and it was.
Yeah, sure.
Convoluted.
Amy, we're getting to you finally. See your hand. What can we do
No.
for you?
No, it's okay. This is an issue that public safety is very interested in, and I would encourage you all to talk to, oh, I just forgot his name, Chris and the health center. So there is a substantial risk of health issues that have expanded in the last number of years. So it's not just Lyme disease anymore. And I'm sure you all know that anaplasmosis and babiosis are also problematic. And so I wasn't here for the first conversation about deer elimination. But this isn't just an ecological issue anymore, but it is a health safety issue currently. And so having a conversation with Chris to understand the impacts on the health of our population would be really useful.
So Holly, I would say my final thought on it would be
I'd
that
just like to comment that I just comment that the health center made a very compelling presentation at the town meeting in which the deer reduction program was voted down, doing exactly, perhaps not with multiple diseases, but they were adamantly supportive of reducing the deer population from a health point of view, but that didn't carry the day.
That doesn't mean we shouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good topic to bring up and.
No.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't think it's a bad idea to talk about it. I think, Holly, my suggestion to this individual would be the same that I made to the individual we had talking about the tick-borne illness committee a couple of weeks back, which is if we can get a hold of contact points for some of the folks who were part of this discussion originally, we can pass them along to this person. Maybe they could start the conversation, and if they would like to bring anything new ideas, I'm hesitant to want to have us dedicate more time to rehashing something that was not a pleasant thing to hash out in the first place. But also, if we have new ideas and new people, it never hurts to bring the new ideas and new people to the front of the table. So
Yeah, I think revisiting it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to wonder. This was already a huge thing and people did not want to do it.
right, it was pretty. Yeah, I do remember as a voter.
But those have to be like north and south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
But
did they not?
Very divisive. Well, you'd have to read all the literature. I mean, I got a notebook about the.
Yeah, we can disseminate that to them.
And it's on the internet. I mean, it's on our website, I think, all the deer reduction.
I think it's still.
I guess I'm just curious, I mean, you're saying there are more droppings, but perhaps they're just gathering there.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that was,
I'm just thinking, I drive around all the time and I haven't seen an increase in deer. That doesn't mean there isn't one.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm curious, I'd be curious to talk to Fred about if there's been an uptick in like deer accidents and just out of curiosity, I don't know one way or the other.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard him mention.
He has her hand.
Amy. Is that the old hand or a new hand?
The new
Yeah,
one.
no, it's a new hand. I would say that it would also be useful to understand the impact of the number of deer on the deer population. So there's some suggestion that the deer population is under a significant stress, and so that the health of the deer are actually at risk because the deer population is so high. And so I'm not necessarily in favor of eliminating all of the deer, but having healthy deer who aren't wasting away because there isn't enough food also sort of matters to me. And having that conversation might influence the way people think about having a deer population that is in balance with a human population on the island. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Thanks.
No.
Amy, is,
More input the better.
are there indicators that our deer are unhealthy? And if so, what are they?
So I think
They're thin. They're all thin. Very deer, very thin.
Run a lot.
yeah, so I think our deer are thin, and I think there may be some suggestions that they are unhealthy because of disease, because they are undernourished, and having somebody who is a deer expert sort of comment or bring their expertise to the issue might also be helpful.
Okay. All right, well, then we will pass information along and hopefully we get some good information back. We can keep that. Any other business? Beautiful. Approving warrant FY 26, number 26. If anyone would like to look at it, the backup information is here. Do we have a motion to approve
So
warrant?
moved.
And
A
a
second.
second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a roll call vote. Polly?
Aye. Sorry.
Oh,
Aye.
Aye as well. Motion passes fully. Sign off on things here. The next step is an appointment to the Pollution Control Committee for an Andrew King.
He owns property up behind the old doctor's house, which, Derby Road, he's, John King's brother
Is he,
on the system. He's also on the Dark Harbor wastewater system.
okay, all right,
We just met, was it yesterday or the day before? Anyway, we have a vacancy on the committee, and that's when Craig said, oh, I think Andy's interested, so we contacted him. And they're gonna be having some more meetings, so that's why I didn't wanna wait 2 weeks.
then he's got a house here, it's here seasonally probably.
Yeah.
Is he? Okay. Great, well then do we have a motion to, put Andrew King, confirm Andrew King onto the Pollution Control Committee?
I move that Andrew King be put on the pollution control committee.
And a second?
Second,
Any discussion? Second went to Dylan. And a roll call vote.
I approve.
Mr. Rothschild?
Yes, yes.
aye.
And I as well. Welcome aboard, Andrew King. Which one is off? So. Chair comments. Mr. Rothschild. Any last words?
Done. Nope.
I also have no comments this week. Steve?
I welcome back the burger place. Yeah. Or,
Thank you.
starting to get some good food back on it.
Careful. There's other food.
Well, we,
Holly.
I too welcome the burger place back.
we need. to do that.
Did I not sign?
Well, we didn't talk about this.
Oh, payroll warrant. No, this is.
Okay, just a second, okay. No, just.
Okay. And Dylan? Mr. Carrington?
I don't have any.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Oh, you know what, what is our preferred contact? The webmail? Cause I've been trying to watch
Oh.
webmail for official business. But really, if any of you need to quickly get a hold of me, it's This Man Delivers, but I'm trying to go through webmail for.
Do you want me to put your name down twice? I mean, I have you for the Islesboro.
Not necessarily.
Because you probably really want to keep your town email separate.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying, there hasn't been much activity on it, but maybe.
Did you receive this packet that I just sent out? Well, I know a couple.
I think so.
Okay.
When did it go out?
Dylan P.
Dylan P. at the,
at townofalbro.com.
Yeah. okay,
Yeah, well, I probably sent something, it might have been Saturday, but then I sent.
yeah, I think
something
I'm,
yesterday.
okay. I just
Did we
wanna-
all get like 30 emails yesterday?
Yeah, well, you tell me, would you want to receive stuff? Or,
What
I
do you
mean. Ooh, what do you?
Well, I meant.
Like, I didn't get,
Come on, Carrie, what is it?
No, well, there was a bunch of emails that came out 2 days ago.
Yeah, but
What are we talking, is that different?
no, that's different. That was the constant contact emails.
Oh, okay.
Dylan's talking about official business going to his town email account.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of checking in, what's the best way for us to communicate? Because I've been monitoring the town email.
yeah,
It has not been very active.
but are you saying you're receiving stuff, though? I
Yeah,
just want you to confirm.
I'm pretty
So it's not always very active.
Okay.
There's not often
Okay,
like
cool.
that crazy back and forth. I
Yeah.
think is what you're asking.
Yeah, which you
It's
shouldn't be
quiet.
having, you shouldn't
Yeah.
be having discussion on email. Anyway, especially if there's three, that's a meeting, you realize that,
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
okay, I was just,
You're just making sure.
yeah, just.
you know, anytime ask, yeah.
Yeah.
And he just did.
Okay,
All good.
wonderful. So a motion to adjourn
Motion to adjourn.
and a second.
So
Second.
moved.
Peter, have fun.
Good job.
I'm in Kyoto at the moment.